Erica on the PS4 really made me think about what I consider to be a video game. This is so far removed from what I've always classified to be a video game. But the question is, did it expand what I believe a video game is, or do I believe it belongs in a different category of interactive media altogether? So let's go over my thoughts on the highs and lows of Erica on the PS4 and see if it's something you should try. The game isn't your average game. This is a full motion video game. While obviously it's right there in the phrase, full motion video game, it treads the line between video game and movie. Erica is fully acted by real-life actors and actresses. They have full scripts, sets, locations, props, and everything that would be required to film a movie. It has a story that could easily be for a film, and one that can take a multitude of twists and turns depending on the choices you decide to make. In terms of it being a movie, it's quite good. There's interesting twists and turns, fascinating characters, and for the most part, a coherent story. The issue with the story isn't the plot itself. It's the possibility to have a scene play out that doesn't make a lot of sense because you didn't choose the options earlier that gave it proper backstory. This effect can give the player two different thoughts in that moment. Either A, curiosity, as you want to do a second playthrough to find out the meaning behind that certain scene, or B, confusion, and you think that it's not a coherent story and that it doesn't flow very well. Personally, I always had the first option go through my head, but I can absolutely understand that it is possible to choose answers that don't really flow together, and it makes the story feel like it has no proper direction. But in terms of it being a video game, it leaves a lot to be desired. There's no real gameplay. In order to interact with the scene, it basically becomes a point-and-click adventure mixed with choosing dialogue options. While this still can feel like a video game, because point-and-click adventures are absolutely a genre of game, those games typically allow you to search at your own free will and have a lot of puzzle mechanics. In Erica, every choice is a one-time option with no going backwards, which makes it feel more relatable to a choose-your-own-adventure book. The game also suggests downloading an app on your phone and connecting it to your console, allowing you to use the touchscreen on your phone as a trackpad to make all the gameplay decisions. You can use the trackpad on the PS4 controller, however, the game does suggest using the app, stating that it's best experienced on the phone. I think that's an interesting design choice by the developers, but I do think it's a major catalyst as to why I have a hard time separating this from an interactive movie like the ones on Netflix. The gameplay itself, using the touchscreen, can be done in a small variety of ways, from tapping to swiping depending on the action, and sliding to a dialogue option. But that style of gameplay isn't really the type of gameplay that's going to keep you hooked for multiple hours. What is going to keep you hooked is the story. Now, I don't want to give too much detail into the story, as it'll just be a massive spoiler for the entire game. But what I will say is that the story is dark and ominous, with lots of potential twists and turns depending on your choices. The story is a thriller with elements of a mystery. Now, I have mentioned that certain scenes can play out differently depending on your choices, and this is key to making the game have any sort of replay value, because realistically, what I personally found to be the quote-unquote game here is trying to get all the different scenes and endings. I found myself curious as to what would happen if I chose a certain option. In fact, when I beat the game for the first time, I only uncovered 4 trophies for 9% trophy completion, so I knew there was a lot more for me to experience, which, again, gave me 2 different thoughts at the same time. A, I wonder what I missed, and B, I don't want to have to experience the same story 10 times to see everything. Luckily, while the main plot of the story is the same, it is possible for your second playthrough to be drastically different. As you approach playthroughs 3, 4, and so on, you're going to start running out of new scenes, which then forces you to decide, are you going to try getting the Platinum Trophy, or have you seen enough? Personally, I haven't 100% of the game yet, but I do plan on it, although if you decide to take that route, I highly recommend using a guide. Some trophies need specific dialogue options to be picked, scattered all throughout the game, making it rather difficult to just stumble upon the right options to get the trophy you're looking for. And from what I know, you need a minimum of 6 playthroughs to 100% the game. Now, considering a playthrough is typically around an hour and a half, it comes out to be a regular length video game. However, I found myself not wanting to do 2 playthroughs in one day, as it just feels way too repetitive. even though the acting, set designs, prop designs, and script are, for the most part, high quality. Personally, I really enjoyed the acting. I didn't find it cheesy or overdramatic or anything of that nature. I thought it was all well done, which actually helped make it feel more like a movie. I'm also rather impressed by all the different takes that must have had to been required to shoot for all the different dialogue options. It's not like anything has a yes or no option and then tied together the next sentence or two. They were entirely different scenes to play out depending on a lot of the options, and I really appreciate that. But the more that it feels like a movie to me, and the more I realize that the part I consider to be the game is just getting all the different trophies, makes me question if I consider this to be a video game at all. And yes, I do consider it a video game, because technically, it is. It is classified as a video game, but if I consider this to be a video game, then surely I must classify things like the Kimmy Schmidt interactive movie or the WWE Undertaker special on Netflix to be video games. But I don't. Is it solely because of the platform it's on? Is it because Erica has a trophy list for me to fill out? Is it because those were associated with television first? I actually don't know, but my gut feeling is that those are interactive movies, whereas Erica is a live-action interactive video game. But I'm not entirely sure what the difference is. But at the beginning of this video I posed the question, did it expand what I believe a video game is, or do I think it belongs in a different category of interactive media altogether? And well, I think it expanded what I believe a video game is, but not in the way you might think. Honestly, I think that if those Netflix interactive movies had a trophy list, which gave me some sort of challenge to seeing all the different scenes, then I'd have to consider them to be video games included in the live-action interactive media genre along with Erica, which is something I never thought I'd be saying a couple of days ago. As for Erica, I think it's an interesting story with good acting, and if you decide to check it out, it's worth a minimum of 2 playthroughs. I think if you only play it the one time, you'll be left way too curious as to what else there is to see, but I don't really want to recommend 100%ing the game, as seeing the same scenes over and over and over again is really starting to wear on me, let alone needing to use the guide to make sure you get as many trophies as possible in each playthrough, as you don't want it to take 8, 9, 10 times through the story because you missed one scene or one dialogue option. And there we have my thoughts on Erica for the PS4. This game really made me think about what I consider to be a video game. I doubt that's what the developers were going for, but that's the effect it had on me. But what about you? I'm curious about your thoughts on interactive movies. Are they games? Are they movies? Do they belong in a totally different category of interactive media? Be sure to let me know down below. And if you want to check out another game on the PS4 that might have passed you by, this one a bit more of your typical video game, then be sure to click on the video right here.